Okay, all right, guys. Good evening, everyone. So happy to see all the happy faces again. Today we have Red Hat with us, and we are going to have some exciting conversations. But yeah, I'll have some couple of announcements, and we'll start in no time. Yep, again, welcome everyone. This is 10th meetup of K8SUG Toronto, and yeah, I'm so happy to see the full house again. Some of the familiar faces coming again and again to motivate us. So yeah, a couple of announcements. Let's appreciate the venue provided from Amazon, and let's be responsible and let's not litter. So please be mindful that all the refreshments are for our use itself, but let's keep hygiene of this place and let's return it as it is. Secondly, please take care of your own belongings. Take your belongings with you while you return. We don't want any after event messages that you forgot your belongings, and we don't want to get into that mess. And we have some exciting discounts as well. For the guys who are into cloud native and containers and open source, there is huge discount going on with Linux Foundation. If you're looking to certify with CKA, CKAD, CKS, all the promo codes are on your screen. And another is Code Cloud, which is one of the platforms where they provide in-depth cloud and DevOps related courses. So you can use those promo code as well. So I'll wait for a couple of minutes for you to take screenshots, and then I'll hand over my mic to the Red Hat team. And if you still have any issues while using those promo codes, feel free to reach out us on LinkedIn. And yeah, everyone, please follow us if you like attending these meetups. So yeah, without wasting further ado, let me invite Sam from Red Hat and Kalim from Red Hat, and they will take the conversation forward with Red Hat.
Some familiar faces, so glad to be here again. For this one, we decided to do something a little different and have a workshop, a hands-on workshop. So I know you got the memo. If you want to participate, you can bring up your laptops and start going on. Sam will actually also walk us through the workshop as well. So for people who don't want to participate, they can follow along. But it should be a fun exercise to look at all the capabilities that we're providing as part of this platform. So I want to take the opportunity to introduce my colleagues here who are joining and will be participating. So Ralph and Sulaiman also come up. I'll give it over to Sam.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Really happy to be presenter in this event. I see some familiar faces from the last time. So my name is Sam Rustampur. I'm Solution Architect from Red Hat. I've been Red Hat for about 6 years and I would say 5 months. So I'm not sure, you're familiar with the Red Hat product. So I would say our major product is OpenShift, which is the hardest Kubernetes platform. So we prepared a lot of good materials for you. I will hand over to my colleague, Ralph.
Thank you, Sam. Happy to see everyone. I think it's my first time. I'm really happy about this meetup. So my name is Ralph Nasrallah. I'm also a specialist solution architect at Red Hat. I focus more on application development products, including containers, Kubernetes, and cloud native and middleware. And now I'll be doing the first session. Sam will continue on the second session before we move on to the hands-on workshop. But I've got Sulaiman that will help us out today. Sulaiman.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sulaiman Sadiq. I'm also a solutions architect at Red Hat. I'm more on the account side, so the account team. So everything from OpenShift, Ansible, all Red Hat technology, really. I used to be a specialist architect at Red Hat as well on the app side, OpenShift application platform. But now I'm on the account team, and I'll be helping with the lab sessions. I'll be supporting the labs today.
Thank you, guys. So most of the time today we'll spend it on the workshop, but we thought about introducing two topics because those would be the main topics for the hands-on workshop. The first topic is the developer hub, and specifically the Red Hat Developer Hub. If you don't have experience with Red Hat, so all of our products are open source products, and we contribute back to the community. So with every product we have, you have its own equivalent in the community. Red Hat Developer Hub is one of those products. So, and as the name suggests, right, the Red Hat Developer Hub, it's focused at improving the productivity of the developers. But let's talk about the challenges that today are taking more and more companies into adopting an internal developer portal. So first, imagine when you first join a company. So onboarding could take a long time, right? As a developer, you need access to VMs, you need the access to your to the framework, to the stack of technology. And most of the time you find yourself like, yeah, you have sysadmin trying to set up the environment for you, trying to set up the laptop for you, your workstation. And soon enough, when you join, okay, now I have my own laptop, my own IDE. Now I have to start connecting to Jira. I have to start connecting to GitHub. I have to use this IDE. So again, I find myself dealing with internally in the company with many systems. And finally, at the end of the day, where can we do the tracking, right, of all those systems at the company level? So this, I mean, again, some examples of the things you'll be working with, like say, if you're working with containers and Kubernetes, like an IDE, right? Container runtime, Kubernetes runtime, monitoring, logging. If you're into GitOps, pipelines, CI/CD, tracing, all of these, right? Networking, storage, if you're more on the infrastructure side. So again, if we count all those tools that you use on a daily basis, again, if you want to deal them with them one by one, then it's not going to make your life easier. So that's why today we're seeing more and more a trend in the market of companies adopting what we call an IDP, the internal developer portal, right? And there are, regardless of the solution, if it's Red Hat, if it's not Red Hat, so the pillars of the internal developer portal is, first is documentation or document management, where you can work on the documentation, check the documentation, extensible and modular, right? Because each company has their own requirements. They have their own tool set. So you can connect it to the existing tool set, helps you with the onboarding as a developer, right? Because as a developer, you need access to an IDE, you need your Git repo, you need the templates, you need the VMs, you need your Ansible playbooks, you need access to APIs, and so on. So fully self-service, and you have access to your company's catalog. For example, it could be the websites, it could be the AI models, it could be APIs. So any source of service. So internal, today, if you simply Google internal developer portal, IDP, so you'll find out that Backstage is one of the most popular IDPs today in the market, right? And it was created by Spotify. They use it, and now 2-3 years ago they gave it to the community. So now it's an open source product. And Red Hat Developer Hub is based on the upstream Backstage, which is a CNCF project. And the main goal is to help you as a developer or help the development team become more and more productive. And again, back to the pillars. So Backstage, the solution is built around 5 pillars, or call them 5 features. So a centralized software catalog, right? So all the applications, the API, so you keep track of them. You can check who's the owner. You can register. You can ask for access for those APIs and applications if you need to. Technical documentation, easy to create, access, secure the documentation. And now you can do what we call the documentation as code. Now with the Backstage, you can commit your documentation to Git and treat your documentation the same way you treat your applications. Plugins ecosystem, because if we remember in the intro slide, we said it's modular and extensible, right? So every company, every organization have a different set of tool sets. So how do we integrate the internal developer portal with those systems is using the plugins ecosystem, more than 150 plugins today. Jira is one of them, GitOps is another one, Ansible. So really it depends on the type of technology you want to integrate with. Software templates, one of the main features, right? Because, and this is when we say self-service, this is when we say easy onboarding, we're talking about software templates, because today in companies, in the enterprise, we can define templates, and as soon as the developer is onboarded, they have their own templates. So, and the templates would create the whole environment they need for them. And finally, a search across all the pillars, anything you want to find, like an API, documentation, information about a plugin, any template. So you have search across the whole portal. And like just simply, I mean, and the hands-on labs, if you're gonna run the hands-on labs, you're gonna get some experience with the Red Hat Developer Portal, which is at the end of the day Backstage. So if you have experience in Backstage, it's pretty much the same product. So self-managed software catalog, as you see, once you log in, you'll have access to the catalog. Could be libraries, website services, APIs. Second is the, if I'm not mistaken, the documentation and technical documentation, right? You can access, you can manage the documentation, you can push your documentation to Git, and you can technically change the documentation at any time, right from the developer portals. We talked about plugins to connect to external systems, those 150 plugins, but you can, at the end of the day, make your own plugins, right? Because now the community, you have over 150, you could be making yours to connect to your own systems, because it includes the plugins framework. And this is the community plugins we talked about, like some examples, right? Jenkins, Prometheus, again, GitLab. It depends on Azure DevOps. It depends on which framework you're trying to connect to. And software templates, right? And this is the process. So you build a template based on your team best practices, and any user developer who wants to use that template fills out the form, provided some details to the template, and the template will automatically provision the environment. So it could provision your Git repo, it could create your Kubernetes namespace, it could do your deployments. Again, it all depends on what's defined inside the template. So literally in minutes, the developer could be up and running in their environment. And finally, searching across anything, right? So a template, plugins, services, API, anything. And finally, so Red Hat Developer Hub. So it's Backstage. What you're getting with Red Hat is simply support, right? And by support, we mean any issues you face, any best practices questions you want to ask, any design question you want to ask. So you take support from Red Hat straight on Backstage, instead of working with the open source Backstage, where it's mostly community support. Now you're getting vendor support straight from Red Hat. Any questions before we move on to the question?
Is this Red Hat development? Red Hat development hub, is it also free for everyone, or we need to?
No, actually, it's not free. So it's based on OpenShift. It's actually you need entitlements. So it's per user. So depending on the numbers of users. So that's why it's when we provide support, then you're buying. You're not buying. You're technically subscribing to the product. So that's the difference with the upstream and Backstage.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, Sam.
There is one more question.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, depend on the users, how many users. What about services we have?
Oh, It's based on numbers of users. So any users, if we have 10 users and 100 APIs, your software can go, we don't get them. Okay, because this queue, the unit is used. Okay.
Is it linked with OpenShift or?
Sorry?
OpenShift.
OpenShift? Yeah, out of the box. So I didn't mention, yeah, it's out of the box. So most of the integration, so if you're an existing OpenShift user, so more, I mean, everything in OpenShift is, even the developer console, the topology, the GitOps, pipelines, so everything is within that, out of the box integration. And by the way, we didn't mention that it works on OpenShift and on OpenShift, right? So if you use AKS, EKS, GKE, so you can run development hub. So as long as it's Kubernetes and containers, so it's you're fine running. You don't have to have OpenShift.
Hey, Raf, great presentation. I just have a couple of questions. The first is, in terms of scale, what is the scale this developer provides in terms of concurrent users and number of requests? That is one. And then a follow-up is, how customizable are these solutions? For example, I want to customize with some third-party software integration. Is it possible to do that in the developer, or what are the formats for it?
Yeah, so two questions. First question is on the, obviously, the performance, the sizing, how do you size, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a product that's installed somewhere, right? So it's consuming RAM and CPUs at the end of the day. So for that, we do have a sizing. Now, this tool, it doesn't consume a lot. So we're talking about 2 cores for hundreds of users. Again, so I would say it's pretty much flexible in terms of the users, literacy and all of this. So you don't have to worry about this, but we will have a sizing chart where we can help you out with, if we're talking about thousands of users, and obviously we'll help you out with the sizing. And the second question is how we do the integrations, right, with other systems. That's through the plugins ecosystem, right? So now, if you Google Backstage plugins, you have a list of over 150 plugins. You can see, so if there is already, say, ServiceNow integration, then you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So you use the ServiceNow integration, same for Ansible, same for GitOps, and so on. If the integration is not there, then the plugin ecosystem, you have the framework, so you can create your own plugins. And this is what the community is doing today. So today you have over 150. Next year you're going to have over 200 because everyone who's creating those plugins are contributing them back to the community. So this specific plugin, you can get it back to the community, and somebody else could reuse it eventually. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Sam. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
And yeah, thanks, Ralph. I mean, just if you want to give him applause, and then yeah, and I mean, I need to apologize because I mean, there's I haven't updated my laptop, so you see this back and forth. So just apologies. So we talked about, for example, the developer tooling through the developer hub, but I mean, the thing that you need to consider as a developer and your organization is that, so I mean, there are many security threats happening, and you should be aware that, I mean, when you're developing the application using different open source tooling and plugins, some of them could be potentially having some sort of security hole built within. And I'm not sure that, I mean, have you heard about, for example, the security issue that was related to the XZ, that, I mean, for compression, that someone just took over the, I would say, the upstream Linux distribution and could copy the confidential information. So, I mean, this is also an important concept that we're going to cover in the workshop. So, I mean, the workshop that you're going to work with is first you set up the developer hub, and then you set up some sort of security supply chain on top of the OpenShift platform. So the easiest analogy that I could find, or I mean, our company could find, is the engine and also all the car parts. So whenever you purchase a car, all of the car components come from various companies. And I mean, if one of those small pieces just have some issues, it's going to be the liability and reliability of that company that's selling the car to you, not the company who are just building those small pieces. So I would say when your application is jeopardized, the reputation of the company that you're working with is going to be exposed, and I would say have some sort of harm or damage. So you need to be aware of the component that you're using for the softwares. Just a little bit numbers here that about 742% annual increase in the software supply chain attack. And 20% of the data breaches was due to the software supply chain attacks. And so when the companies are initiating the open source and DevOps culture, so they want to have some sort of security built within the DevOps. And 92% of the companies are open source, so using the open source products. So I would say the security is a big challenge for them. So you are all developer, or some of you are platform engineers. So how many of you are developer here? How many platform engineer? Yeah, I would say you're using the same tooling when it comes to the application development or platform development. So you have three stages, main stages for your application development. So first is coding. So you need to have a tool within the platform to identify the malicious code or malicious dependency without being overwhelmed. You, for example, open your IDE, develop your application, and you get a feedback from your IDE that you have some sort of malicious component within your application components. And when you do the build, let's say building a package, when you talk about the microservices, building the images, so then you need to make sure that the package that you are building or image that you are making also is secure, because you are delivering this package to someone else. And then at the end stage, when you deploy the application, your container is in the runtime. You need to make sure that you're constantly monitoring your application for any security and malicious behavior for your application. So the security tooling that we are talking about, the trusted software supply chain from Red Hat, will cover the entire CI/CD pipeline for you. So the first stage that we talk about, the one stage before developing the code, that you need to make sure that you are fetching the legitimate and secure content from the, I would say, internet. So that's why Red Hat has the universal base images that has been vetted and secured. I would say when we just fetch this stuff from the OpenStream and create images based on them. So we made sure that it's fully secure. Also goes with the runtime languages and the application dependencies. So the source that you are getting, you're sure that all of these materials have been secured and vetted by Red Hat. And then it comes to the coding. So we provide through the Developer Hub the IDE for you. It's based on VS Code or IntelliJ. But there's a plugin from Red Hat that you can do the scanning for your source code dependency. Let's say that you are doing the infrastructure as a code. You use, for example, Terraform or YAML or config files. So that, I would say, dependency checker for security within the IDE provide a feedback for you that what security and vulnerability that you are hitting. Yeah, so I'm trying to be fast because I just want to give you more time to work with the workshop. So I just go to the next stage, which is the build. So when you build the images, so you should have the capability to scan the images layer by layer, because when you're talking about container, you have the base image and you have the application. You have, for example, another layer of your application configuration and the libraries that you are fetching to run your application. So all of these components should have some sort of the software bill of material that, for example, so as easiest example I can think of that, when you go to a grocery and purchase, for example, a bag of chips, so you have the ingredient list behind it. So for example, what type of fat it's using. So for example, how much salt in it. So for your health, so you need to check all the ingredients there. So that's what you're doing here. That by the software bill of material response, you make sure that the components within your build it's I would say contains no harmful or damaging dependency or libraries. And I mean, you need to make sure that when you build the image, you do the proper signing, because let's say that you're talking about the application promotion. So you need to make sure that the package that you are building in your image registry and you want to deliver to the other department for the deployment, it is it is signed. That I mean for the integrity purposes, right? And then it comes to deployment, the continuous delivery. So I mean the deployment should also check the image that has been signed is, for example, the same image that you're fetching for your production. So I mean you need to do this type of security vetting in the deployment phase, and signature check, attestation validation, and the image policy. If you have, for example, using the open policy agent, not sure I mean how many of you, but I mean this is the open source the tooling that you can use to enforce the compliancy to your organization. And the last stage, which I mentioned, that I mean, if you want to have a proper DevSecOps, so you need to monitor constantly, detect the issues, security, and bugs, and then do the remediation. And this life cycle just go on like the I would say forever. So that's it for the security side. Is there any question?
So for the cluster composition analysis, that's a component of the software, right? You don't need a plugin for that.
So I mean, it's a plugin within the VS Code. So I mean, you're going to see that I mean, when you go and log into the workshop, there's a developer hub, and you have a link to, I'd say 2 right now, but I mean, it's going to be more. I mean, you have the possibility to use the VS Code as ID or the IntelliJ. And when you open that, there's a plugin from Red Hat which is included in your ID.
Okay. And then essentially you send the code to IDP, the developer platform, and then that part does the software composition analysis, right?
Yes, and I mean, you have, for example, so the underlying component, I would say the platform is OpenShift platform. That I mean, OpenShift platform is, for instance, I would say the wheels that running the OpenShift platform is operators. So all of the components from the infrastructure, let's say developer hub that you're talking about, is also built by the operators. The same for the security components. For example, when it comes to the image scanning, when it comes to signings, I mean, you have specific operators running on top of the OpenShift platform that will do all of this, I would say, security checking for your CI/CD pipeline.
And for the SLSA, what kind of levels do you?
So I mean, it's the SLSA 2. Yeah, I mean, we are targeting for level 2.
So you have many different security scans.
Yeah.
What tools do you use?
So, I mean, we have, for example, when it comes to the image scanning, so I mean, we are using that, I mean, advanced cluster security that when it comes, for example, I mean, it provides a lot of tooling for you, not only for the image scanning, but let's say for the network communication between your containers. That I mean, for example, which container is exposing which port, what protocol, and which other container is communicating to. So, for example, you go to the workshop, you're going to get a separate dashboard for the advanced cluster security, and you see the full feature of that. So, it's the image scanning one stage that I mean, for them to come, let's say, for the image signing and validation. So we're using the CS4 of the stream project.
And what about the source code?
The source code, so I mean, it's I would say, database that you're connecting is the Red Hat database for security and also SNIC. Yeah, for the vulnerability and the dependency checking. Yeah.
Thank you for your talk.
Sure.
You mentioned XZ break, like.
XZ,
So how did your software, like supply chain protection, help people to counter it? So how workflow look like?
Right. So I mean, we talked about for example, the universal base images, right? That I mean, these are the images that from Red Hat that we already have checked that we got type of vulnerability within the image that we are, I would say, delivering to our customers. I would say, I mean, at the first stage, so I mean, we have to take that. But I mean, the reason that we say that, so OpenShift platform is based on RHEL, so the RHEL operating system is most secure operating system I would say you can find. So I'm not bragging, but I would say because I mean in the RHEL creation we also use the same type of security DevSecOps best practices. So we have to take with that, and we're one of those obviously companies who obviously stop that attack. Any other question? Yeah. So I just share the link to the workshop, so you can just take out your laptops and then start logging to the environment.
The password is there broken by us.
Sorry.
So if you guys want to use cache Wi-Fi, that's there. The password is broken wires @@user19 Mgmt.
Thank you. So this is the link that I mean you have https://demo.redhat.com/workshop. Okay, yeah, so too many components.
No, I think because
Cool. Yeah.
got locked.
Okay, so I just go through it again. No problem. Yeah, so I mean, this is a link, the demo.redhat.com/workshop/N47HCE, and the password is U4MCF90U and 92U. And then, so when you go to that path, you need to put your email address and then the password that is provided here. Just put your personal email address and then you can log in and work with the workshop. So I mean, I can also, I mean, we can go through it. I mean, me and Ralph, some part of it, and then for the people that they don't have the laptop.
I think it's a long press. So the people who don't have a laptop, what the?
Yeah, so we're going to go to the workshop. Okay. So I mean, how many of you do not have laptop or you don't want to use your laptop? Okay. But I mean, we're going to go through the workshop step by step, just show you that, I mean, what type of feature you're going to get with the developer hub and the trusted software supply chain. So everyone copied the URL and the password, so you have, because I just want to go to the workshop and show for the other people that they don't have laptop. So everyone have the information? first stage. So when you log in, you're going to see this type of descriptive information that, what is the stages of this workshop and what is we are intending to do. Different component that Ralph mentioned. Also, I talked about that, you have, for example, the Red Hat Trusted Application Pipeline and the Red Hat Developer Hub and Trusted Artifact Signer, Trusted Profile Analyzer, Advanced Cluster Security, Takedown, Argo CD, QA, and the OpenShift as your platform. And you have dev space for your, I would say, IDE.
Do you think we can have the workshop run until tomorrow? It's too expensive, right? I don't know. We'll ask. Yeah, but it's quite expensive though. You think we can have the workshop run until tomorrow?
Yeah.
I think it's too much cost.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
You can extend it, right? Or
Yeah. But I guess default is 2 days. So it is.
okay, yeah.
But he's saying that because of.
Oh no, can we turn it off at night, or we just leave it to continue? I don't like to turn environments on. Most of the time they don't whatsoever. Yeah. So we'll just take a link out to the one until tomorrow because the day after tomorrow is Saturday. Nobody can work on Saturday.
Sure. Make sure it's no auto stop because I forget to.
I can just extend the time as well to set to end of day tomorrow maybe.
No auto stop. I guess it is. Okay. So. Yeah.
Auto destroy is it's.
Yeah. Destroy. Okay, but I'm going to change that. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's too long.
Yeah, but it's 5 days from now. So
yeah, it's too much. It's bankrupt.
A good thing. I forgot. I would have answered that, guys.
For the workshop, because the user is not password. They said it's not working, right? They need to log in with the. This is for the GitHub. Okay, yeah.
No, yeah, they need to. They need to use the GitLab, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So we got a question on the login for Backstage. So we're going to use the IDP GitLab. So we're not going to be using the local credentials. So we're going to log in through GitLab, and that's in a way to tell you that you can implement SSO, right? So you can use your company's credentials to log into to Backstage. So for this, when you click on the login for Backstage, which is Red Hat Developer Hub, make sure you go to the GitLab and then authenticate using GitLab, right? So here, provide your username and password and login. So I'm gonna try to get mine. Yeah, the problem is user one for all of them. Yeah, I think they all have different. You think they have different partitions? That's right. Okay, so for example, if I'm using user one, password, GitLab, and I log in, authorize, and then I'm authorizing GitLab to access my Backstage, and from here you can proceed with the steps. So okay, GitLab authentication, authorize, and then if that's the first time, so you're probably going to provide some information and then you're in. Okay. So again, second step is to log into OpenShift. Again, don't use the default kubeadmin. You're going to use Red Hat SSO, which is Keycloak. Again, SSO and username, password, admin for your environment, and you should be good to go. You should be on the admin console in OpenShift.
Each user have their own URL.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it's just a nice.
No, I guess I'm asking because I use this in a demo environment. I was wondering how does it work in a workshop.
I think there's a workshop.
Yeah, but it's yeah.
I just forgot when that guy asked about security, like how do you put security in the chain? I forgot to add that you can have ACS in the DevOps pipeline. In the
Yeah,
CI/CD.
I mean, you can chime in any.
Yeah, later.
Yeah. You're the DJ. How to? It's a long press usually. But,
you know what? Can you call Cardi?
In the meanwhile, there is a bag outside. I don't know who just.
Oh yeah, long press.
Oh.
So if someone has the bag outside, please.
You just did not press long enough.
Sam. They can technically use their phones to do it.
Yeah.
They can use their smartphones.
It's really hard to.
I didn't know it would allow you to go minus in the update.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's.
Yeah, I don't know, because every time I do the update, I mean, all of the stuff that I set up need to redo again, the access stuff.
Oh yeah, that's. It's a new machine, right?
Yeah.
So,
The processor is making problem for me for virtualization.
Yeah?
Crashes, yeah. It's not supported, no virtualization.
how do you have a local OpenShift here?
Yeah.
You have OpenShift local or?
Yeah.
And is it allowing you to run VMs or not?
No.
I never tried.
So I mean, because it's M2 processor,
Yeah.
and it's crashing all the time. So I mean, just go to the VM. I just use the Oracle VirtualBox.
Yeah.
So I could just run it, but I mean, just go and freeze there. And I mean, I cannot even take out it. So I need to just restart the. No, so here, for example, yes, so it is because I mean, if you go to the lab instructions, just to the and then you can introduce and process also based on most scenarios, you just not yeah, so I'm going to start with the first session for the workshop. First session.
It goes through the norm guide.
So, Ralph, I mean, what is the information for your lab? Because I guess, I mean, everyone just logged in and there's no seats available. Do you have that?
I'm afraid I didn't get an email yet.
What's the challenge?
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, the seats are all full.
Oh, full. Oh, I see.
But there should be one. Oh, it's provisioning still.
Wait, there is one still provisioning.
Um,
Yeah, just wait for 5 minutes. So just one thing for people that have logged in, they are not going to log in until tomorrow. And for you guys that don't have a laptop, so you can just give the information and then you can log in and back when you have your laptop. So everyone benefits from this.
But the environment is going to be running. The environment is only going to be running till end of day tomorrow. So you can complete it now. You can complete it at home. And by end of day tomorrow, it will automatically be deleted.
Do you want to share?
Just make sure you have the link.
I'll see if I.
I mean, just email me and I will update the slide with you.
It's running. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Just send me the link, so I will just show them the slides again.
Yeah, I think we also want to get a picture of the password so they can take,
Yeah.
And that's the password. Okay, you got them. Okay.
So we have a new environment also for the people that they have, because I mean now all the seats are fully booked. So I'm gonna update the slide with the new portal, and then you guys can just take a picture, and then you can log in from home, or the people that they don't have possibility to log in to use the new environment.
Can we tell the people who already logged in to take a picture of the the comment? Yeah, can you go to the slide?
Oh shit.
Just keep them both. Yeah, keep both.
Let me just stop the screen. This is really annoying. Why?
No. I didn't see
Oh yeah.
So you want me to keep the both old and new one?
Yeah, we can keep both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Copy paste this one.
Yeah, just like a second slide.
Yeah.
Are we sharing this with the deck? Do we have the emails?
Yeah, Karim said something that I mean share this. I don't know with whom, but I mean these guys are not receiving anything.
Next time, use the shortener. We have a Red Hat URL shortener.
Okay.
Also, you have the link?
You have the link for it? It's a Red Hat. You get red.ht/.
No, I don't have that one.
Yeah.
And you can change the password to something simple.
Yeah.
Like OpenShift.
Yeah,
You change it.
just go back.
But Sam is highly secure.
Yeah, I know.
You don't know.
C++ supply chain.
I was surprised there was no special character.
I know.
Oh my god. Okay, so where am I? I just lost here. So I just got your link, and
in the last
yeah,
page?
but I mean here. So if you want to change, you need to change it because
it's the same. No,
it's a different.
No, this is a different one. So I didn't get
Why?
what you guys want to change.
No.
We can leave it.
We'll leave it. He was saying for next time we can change
we can change it to
the
OpenShift.
and we can shorten the URL. So for next time. For now, it's this one.
Oh, Sam, can you do a last slide and put names like name and contact just in case tomorrow they can't access?
Yeah, put Suleiman Sadiq. Support over the weekend, 24/7 free.
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay.
I'll take over
But
on
you can put
Monday morning.
just in case, because
Do you want to put your name here?
yeah, you can put it. It's fine.
Okay.
No, like a single slide.
Is there anybody specific you like in the audience? That's what you want. Put his number as well. So
And put my personal email. Exactly. We can just put like our names really. Just we can put mine and yours and we're happy. It's fine.
We're using my environment now, so because they consume the 30 users, so now we're just adding my environment to the because they're more than 30.
The ones that they have right now.
No. But you could provision only 30 users, and I provision the rest. So
You can put yours. Yeah, just.
Solomon friend. Are you teaching me Arabic? Sulaiman Sadiq.
I think Marshall in Quebec.
No, thank you.
Montreal.
Thank you.
Then you go with
Sam told me last year non-deal was a French Canadian.
Oh God.
First non-deal was commercial, second non-deal was commercial French Canadian. Oh my God.
I know.
This is what Sam told me. I'm not sure.
Make sure.
I'm going to open the microphone. So this is a new, I would say, link that for the people they don't have seat. Yes, you can just use this workshop and log in. And for the other people that you don't have laptops, so you can just take a picture, and when you got home, you can just log into this environment. Will be available for 2 days. Yeah, so if you have any question that Suleiman and me, so this is our contact, so you can just email us and we're gonna help you. So, yeah. So I just go through the instructions, to give you the idea, so what do we mean when we talk about the developer hub and the trusted software supply chain and how those components are, I would say, merged together. So, I don't know. So you guys want to listen, or you want to talk, or? Yeah, so okay, but so you want to start with the developer hub and do some demo, and I will start.
All right. So Sam went through the list, the technology, right? Some things that make sense for the developer hub is the obviously Backstage, Red Hat Developer Hub, advanced cluster security pipelines, which is based on Tecton for running some pipelines and eventually securing them with the trusted application pipelines. GitOps, Quay, Enterprise Container Registry, DevSpaces is my IDE, in-browser IDE installed on OpenShift, and finally my Kubernetes environment is Red Hat OpenShift. So we, I guess the first step is to run the test of the connectivity to the stack, including the Red Hat Developer Hub, GitLab, OpenShift Dev Spaces, which is the IDE, and finally a Red Hat Quay, just to make sure the images are there. So first step, and I believe we did that one, is to log into Backstage, and I think we closed. Okay, let me log in. So that's Red Hat Developer Hub. I'm using SSO, so I'm still logged in. I'm gonna go back to this later on. And then after this, I'm gonna log into my OpenShift console again. Back to OpenShift, Red Hat OpenShift. Again, admin user, I'll log into my cluster. That's my OpenShift cluster. And next is log into my advanced cluster security, ACS. Again, using the admin. Admin password. Again, that's ACS. So security management, declarative Kubernetes security. Okay, your RHEL developer host, you can SSH to it. For the time being, we're not gonna do that. And then back to, so Quay, you log into Quay just to check the images. Argo CD for GitOps. So we're gonna log into Argo CD. Obviously, the first time there's no application since we didn't deploy anything. We didn't run any deployments. So again, admin. That's Argo CD, no applications. And then finally, SonarCube.
SonarCube is the admin and the password from this slide.
Okay.
The demo.redhat.com.
Okay, I'm just looking for the URL. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. We need to get the yeah. So namespace project. And then skip topology. Login.
So the password is.
It's admin, the user.
Yeah. And the password is U4MC.
U4MC.
F92.
F92. Okay, wait.
It says it's a demo.redhat.com in the instruction, right?
That's what I remember.
Use admin and the password provided.
Maybe I didn't type.
It should be. We didn't see it in the credentials.
So can you U4M U
for MC
C
F9 2 U.
That's it.
Oh my god.
Let me see.
No, because I don't know.
That's a new one. That's mine. We're using yours.
You're using the old
Right,
one.
Yeah.
Okay. So just put this one then.
The second one.
BM.
BM7.
Yep. 7Y.
Y.
JY. 5D.
5D.
Should be good.
Oh. Is it admin as well?
Yeah, wait, hold on.
BMY.
What are you trying to look to again? It's not here. Can you go to the page? It's supposed to be in the page.
No, it's saying user. So BMY.
BM, right? M.
Yeah. Oh, wait. BM7. BM7Y.
Y. JY.
5D.
5D.
Yeah.
5D. Okay, let me try this.
Okay.
Can I disconnect this?
Yeah. There's no song preview.
Yeah. Interesting. Q. Topology was instructions. Q. This is SonarQube cluster. This is your cluster. Okay, let's try this. Oh shit, it went off.
Oh, yeah. By the way, you can. Is it still in the slides, or he
Oh
deleted
yeah,
it?
it's still in the slides.
Yeah, just copy paste it. It's easy.
Yeah.
That's the It's not working, so we're copy pasting.
Yeah, copy and paste there.
Let me just put admin. So
Interesting. Where's the instructions?
no, but I mean, but if you go to OpenShift,
Yeah, go to demo. Oh,
You mean?
no, just say go to OpenShift platform,
Yeah, right here.
and then you go to the secrets.
Okay, perfect. Secret. SonarDB.
Yeah.
no, that's the DB.
Oh, Sonar. So over here. No, not this.
There's nothing.
There's nothing for Sonar.
So this is weird.
Yeah, it's not here. For Sonar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody following.
Yeah. But let me keep checking this though.
You can continue, Solomon.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. Let's skip this part.
Yeah, for sure. SonarQube. Hold on, let me see something.
Just forget it.
Forgotten.
But probably they're gonna face the same issue.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna get the question.
One needs the Sonar. Yeah, so we're gonna go through a workshop, but Suleiman is doing more investigation.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Solomon is our premium support specialist.
Premium. Premium.
Well, it is MP5, so it's premium.
Yep. That is right.
Do you want to share the screen?
Oh yeah, for sure. And what do you want to show now?
I mean, just go through the instructions and.
Yeah, I think now just move here like now we.
Workshop. Where's instructions? Right here. Right here.
Instruction in the showroom.
Yeah, sure.
Or the showroom. Gotcha.
Showroom. No, not this one. Yeah, just. Okay. If you want to create, I think it's this one or. Yeah, you're right. So that's SonarQube, whatever. We're not gonna log in there, so we're gonna create a template.
You want to create a template?
Yeah.
So if you do it for your screen, let's create a template.
Let me do it.
Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah.
You want to take over here?
I wanna.
Oh, you want to show him something?
No. The idea is for us to explain for you.
Oh, it's supposed to explain. Oh, I didn't know.
We're not teaching you.
Oh.
All right, let's create a template. So I'm logged in. I have a lot of tabs. So I'm logged into my. Okay, and.
So I mean, for the I would say first step of the onboarding of the developers for the organization in order to make it easy. So we provide the templates. Let's say, I mean, based on the different framework that you're used to, Quarkus, Java, Node.js, or let's say that I mean .NET. So all of this template is with the security built-in parameters is part of the onboarding process for in the developer hub. So Red Hat has been creating this type of templates for you.
So if you're familiar with the term, the golden path, right? So it's an application or set of applications based on your own best practices. The idea is to create templates. Like if you go to the templates, you'll see the predefined templates. What we're gonna do here is to create a new template. So if you go to create, register existing template, and again, it's expecting a YAML file that's hosted somewhere, right? Right. So most likely in your Git repo. So I'm gonna just copy paste the existing one. And again, this is all to say that it's a YAML config at the end of the day, right? So if you go to the YAML file, so that's a template, right? So this is the definition of a template. So this is, again, this is your templates as well would be treated as code since they're hosted in your Git repo. So now back to my. So again, just keep the defaults, analyze. So analyze, import. You gotta import everything. Just stick with the default import, and then finally create the template, right? Which could include a set of templates. Just okay, and we're gonna hit create. Finish.
Can you share screen on John?
Sorry.
John, you need to share screen.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay.
Share.
Oh. Okay. All right. And you see here, so the list of templates were added. Now I can start using those templates. Right. So we're gonna create a new template. We're gonna start, like, you can add to favorites, one of them. I'm gonna do, and then we move on to the new hire onboarding. So new hire, obviously, as we said, so we have a set of templates. Somebody joins the team that needs access to applications, environment provision, Git repo. So again, easy. We go to the catalog, you can create the template, and their Git repo would be created for them. The things you can check on the developer hub for any application, any service, right? So for the existing catalog, for the existing APIs, you can check the owner, the org chart, right? Clicking on any, right? You can check the consumers who's registered to this to the service. You can access all this from the developer hub. Search, and again, I just want to go and create a new catalog based on what we just created. So again, back to my developer hub, I can create on the Python developer hub just to make sure it's Quarker service, software supply chain. So for any template that I choose, again, we have a form to fill out, right, with some default values. Obviously, you'll go through with the default values, but again, I want you to, it depends on the parameters defined in your templates. This is a Quarkus, so this is Java. Image registry, I'm going to use Quay, right? Quay details are going to be populated. GitLab repo, stay with the defaults, and finally review, and then just create. So now it's creating everything that's defined in the template, including the application, the Git repo, and finally GitOps to Argo CD resources on OpenShift So the whole stack is now currently being created for me based on whatever was defined in my template. All right. So again, making code changes. Okay. So all right, let's go back. So that's my source code repo. And again, I can edit any file. So yeah, let's open it. In VS Code, OpenShift. I'll select this permissions. While I'm waiting for my IDE namespace to be. So this IDE, this OpenShift dev space is pretty much similar to VS Code, same UI, but it's running on OpenShift, so it's not running locally on my machine. So I'm not consuming any of my laptop's resources. So it's fully deployed on OpenShift. And now it's creating the namespace based on the source code that was created by the template. And just wait a couple of minutes for the namespace to be created, and then I can go in and do my code changes. So it's a shared environment, so things are a little bit slow. Now, if I take a look at in the meantime, and take a look at a lot of tabs. Make a look at my Argo CD. So you see, so now I have applications, and again, this is that's my Quarkus app that I just deployed using the template. So again, it's all now managed by Argo CD because GitOps was defined in my backstage template. So this is what's going on in Argo CD. So most of the applications are synced with GitOps. A couple of them will eventually fail because there is no container image yet. So the application is deployed, but the container image is not deployed. So eventually you see those two fail. And again, this is what we'll do with the pipeline to deploy those container images. Hopefully by now I have my workspace running again. If you use VS Code, simply it's the same look and feel. VS Code, it's VS Code for the web, totally hosted on OpenShift, and like I can do any code change, commit, and then trigger the webhook, the pipeline. So let's go back to the instructions to make sure info. Okay, information about the catalog, and then we can change the documentation, I guess. Yeah. So documentation, closing the link, and it's docs, and yeah, whatever. So index, a Quarkus, a cooler, Quarkus app, and I simply file save. And again, I can, new version. I can, what the changes and then commit, I think, changes. And again, if I go back,
I mean, you have the OTP on your phone. Yeah.
If I go back to my, okay, sorry, I'm losing my tabs. So I go to my CI. So you see now, okay, based on the commit I did, so another pipeline. And again, that's a question about integration with OpenShift, right? So that's an OpenShift pipeline being triggered. But again, I'm accessing all this in the developer hub, right? Because I don't want to be for the pipelines to check OpenShift, for GitOps to check Argo CD, for the Quay, for the container images to check Quay. So I'm getting full visibility of everything that's going on straight from my Red Hat developer hub. So this is based on the change that I just did, and this is gonna trigger deployment, including the security checks. And let me check that we didn't miss. Okay, some code changes. Okay, a bunch of commits. Settings.
Right. Just like ROSA.
Pipeline exploration.
Instance for every user.
Do you wanna take
Yeah,
over
sure,
from
yeah,
the
sure.
like signing? So I got the pipeline.
Yeah. If you just go to
This one.
here.
Yeah.
Thanks. So when it comes to the security scanning, so I mean, you have the possibility to just just maybe take some time to. So I mean, you can see different stages of the pipeline runs that you have. So I mean, let's just go back to this one. That I mean, for example, you can see the scanning. That I mean. So I mean, the first stage, I mean, is the sonar cube that I mean do the, I would say, smell check for your code, and then, for example, this is just, I mean, the regular sonar cube scanning. So the first stage, and I mean, when it's passed, so I mean, just build and sign the image. So this is this stage. So you can see that, I mean, it just fetched the OpenJDK from the UBI, Universal Base Images from Red Hat. So that's what I was talking about, that, I mean, the image has been vetted, and I mean, no security or malicious code there. Then after, from that base image, you start building your application. And then, for example, copying the jar file and, for example, the language set. And for example, if you have any deployment configuration. I'm not sure why the host is not working. Yeah, so I mean, this is just the, I would say, the Docker image creation. And then when the image is created, you see that, I mean, you have the SBOM software bill of materials. So I mean, it's also included in the build image and will be pushed to the image registry. So if we go to the, let's see, do you have any Quay open or no Quay?
Quay? I don't think I logged in. No, wait, we can. Quay. Sorry, let's Quay admin.
So, I mean, now we're going to log into the Quay. You're going to see that the image that has been created by the pipeline is pushed also with the software bill of material. So let's go to this Quarkus app. So you see from here that, I mean, it also does the security scanning for your image, that you can see that, I mean, what type of security vulnerability you have. So I mean, it just takes some time. So you can see, I mean, based on the severity that, I mean, you get prompted that, I mean, which one is severe, which one is high, and I mean, what type of remediation that is required in which version has been fixed. So yeah, you can see that, I mean, yeah, this is just your image layers. Yeah, this is the SBOM. So this is the software bill of material that, I mean, should be uploaded with each image in your CI/CD pipeline in order to make sure that whoever else we're going to use your application image understand what is the components. I mean, what, for example, the step has been used for your application build in the Docker image. So for the security reasons, so it's important to include, and you have the attestation. So the attestation, you can think of it as a playbook that, I mean, for example, you just do the pip install a specific package. So it lists all of these steps that your application build has been used. So, I mean, you have the attestation, you have the SBOM, you have the sign image, you have the full component, you have the DevSecOps. So if we go back to the workshop, yeah, so I mean here, this is the deployment check phase. So I mean, if you have the application promotion and you want to just build and then deploy to your acceptance environment, so you need to do some sort of pre-reg check that, I mean, for example, the image is signed, or I mean, from the criticality, I mean, is it critical or, for example, high? No, this is just a medium severity. So, I mean, you can pull this image and deploy to different stages of your application pipeline. Yeah, so any questions so far regarding this process? No one has any question? So, I mean, just for your information, we have 2 gifts. So, I mean, whoever participate more, we're going to get the gift. So you have no question regarding that, I mean, how developer are creating the templates and the onboarding for developers? Yeah, sure.
Just talk a little bit more about the SBOM file, like what's the value behind it?
As I said, so for example, you just buy, let's say, a food from the source. I mean, you want to know what type of ingredients, how much fat it is, how much salt it is. I mean, what is it, sodium, within, or let's say, influx, I mean, to kill you. So, I mean, you need to check all of these components. So the SBOM is just telling you that, I mean, if your application has several dependencies, what are those dependencies, and just list them in some sort of the, I would say, readable format for the people that do the security check for the application deployment. So I would say that, I mean, it's a type of assurance for the people that using your application image, that, I mean, they know that what type of what component is included within your container image.
And for instance, if it's like a React application which has like hundreds of dependencies, would it be like a gigantic file with all the sensitive dependencies?
Yeah.
And how do you use those files? Is there a tool to like scan it automatically?
Yes, so I mean, maybe I can just show, because I mean, this is not for you to go into all of the dependencies, so that's the idea. So you as a developer shouldn't be overwhelmed with all of these security issues. So I mean, this different type of, let's say, ACS image scan, I guess, I mean, there should be one SBOM. So I mean, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, you can see that, I mean, all of this vulnerability based on the SBOM and information that you get from the database, that, I mean, this SNCC, and I mean, for example, the upstream, the Red Hat vulnerability database. So, I mean, it just lists all of this, I mean, which one is critical. And then when it comes to deployment, so, I mean, the policy that you're, for example, using the open policy agent, it just check, I mean, if it is, for example, doesn't have any attestation, or if it has SBOM, or I mean, what type of criticality your image, then you can prevent for deploying to pre-production and production. So you shouldn't be, I would say, overwhelmed with this information, but I mean, this is information that is critical for the company that they want to, for example, produce a microservice application, and everyone should understand what are those components are made of. Yeah, no problem. Yes?
Is there a way to, so you had Red Hat Quay scanning your image. Is there a way to use it outside this system?
Yeah. So I mean, all of these components, I mean, the first thing is that all of them is based on the open source project. Quay, upstream Quay, and when it comes to the ACS upstream stack works. So I mean, you have two possibilities. If you just want to go, I would say, without any support, you can use those upstream projects. But if you want to have some sort of support, we just sell the Quay subscription separately to you. But I mean, the idea of the OpenShift subscription, OpenShift Platform Plus subscription, that it includes the advanced cluster security, the advanced cluster management, some sort of distributed storage based on Ceph, and the OpenShift platform, and I mean, all of these components included. I mean, so if I want to break down, I mean, the idea behind the subscription is that, I mean, therefore, the Red Hat is making to make the software secure, vetted, and also enterprise grade. Because I mean, if you go to your organization, I mean, most of the product that you're using the open source, who can take care of the integration of those components if there's any bug or issue, so it will be solved your problem, right? But I mean, if you just buy the, I would say, OpenShift subscription, the Argo CD side, okay, it's just gone. For example, the Argo CD, if there's any bug or security vulnerability, thing that we mentioned, so it provided a patch from the Red Hat. But I mean, you can just purchase all of these components separately, no problem. Yeah, runtimes, yes. Yeah, you have a subscription for runtimes.
Are you going to run them at the same time while orchestrating them? Or?
Yeah, so I mean, the Argo CD is responsible for the continuous delivery. So I mean, in your pipeline, when CI is done, the scanning is done, ACS did the checking, Argo CD will do the CD part for you. Do you want to add anything? No, we just support the CD part. So, for example, it is built into the delivery of the Argo CD.
Oh yeah, so you have your Argo CD instance deployed anywhere on OpenShift or outside. So when you integrate Backstage or Red Hat Developer Hub with your Argo CD instance, so you're getting the UI embedded inside the. So you don't have to open up like we did in the beginning. We open up 6 tabs to access one for Quay, one for Argo CD, one for the. So you have one pane of glass where you can check everything out, including the pipelines. So I didn't go back to my OpenShift console pipelines and check the pipelines. So visibility is in the Backstage. So it's not doing anything special Backstage. It's simply integrating with your existing environment or technology like the CD, Argo CD, and showing you the interface and all the actions or APIs that you have access to. So we can deal with that from one window, one portal, with everything you need to, as opposed to, as I said, like open up like 6, 7 bookmarks to deal. So that's the idea. So there's nothing special in the CD, that's Argo CD, but the GUI, the interface is embedded now inside Backstage. And it's the same for everything else.
And so, I mean, from the Argo CD perspective, that you can see that, I mean, we have the Bootstrap, which was responsible for creating the environment for us, and then you have the application development stage, and then you have the build. So all of them went well. But when it comes to the pre-production, because I would say the CD part, that by purpose we haven't implemented the CD part, you see that it's failing. Just to show you that, I mean, from the Argo CD, you have the possibility to see that, I mean, what component of your CI/CD pipeline is degraded and due to what type of issue that, I mean, we can look at here that, yeah.
Workers. Oh, yeah.
So it says, I mean, if we go to the events here, that, I mean, what has been failed, that is image pooling failed, right? Because, I mean, in order to have a secure pipeline, so you need to make sure that, I mean, before you pull the image and deploy it to the pre-production and production, you have made the security scanning pass through. So yeah, sure.
So this is about the CI part, right? So what about when we deploy an application is deployed for a long time? And it's not, we don't have done a CI for a long time. Yeah. So in that case, there's a vulnerability that has been introduced.
Did you get a laptop refresh?
Yeah, I did.
So I would say that now
You see.
Do they charge the cost and the cost center? They charge
I don't remember. Why?
My laptop needs to refresh.
Yeah, I mean, same as me, but I don't remember to who it got billed.
Did you have to like talk to your manager? Or you just did it?
No, I just did
if
it.
your image is also there for a long time, so
Did
for
what?
the database.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I have to leave soon, so.
I think we just tell them that it's up till
Tomorrow, end of day, whatever. 5 p.m.
Yes. Yeah. And after that, we can yeah. And it has been, and the condition has been running for a long time. And right now, there's a vulnerability of yeah. But
I didn't go through the lab because I thought it was so expensive.
I did something similar in the demo, so but I didn't get into the specifics.
Did you run this lab? I thought it was so expensive. I wanted to run it yesterday, but I thought it was so
Not
expensive.
now for this, but I tried it before, so but I
yeah. Exactly.
I did one before, but it was just only. I told you that's all. Just dev spaces.
yeah.
Yes,
No, sorry, not dev spaces.
Dev hub.
Developer hub.
When we talk about the CI part, the ACS, the Advanced Cluster Security, it has the command line called ROCCTL that you can include in your CI pipeline for doing that type of security check that you want to. Yes. Yeah. Dependencies and this kind of stuff that I talked about. Any other questions?
You have a question?
I guess you mentioned that it would also scan the application that you're running.
Yeah.
Can you put a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm going to show the AC session.
So this is the ACS Advanced Cluster Security Dashboard. So I mean, the first page that you're going to get is that, I mean, if you have any type of policy violation, because I mean, you can define policy within the ACS based on your organization. That, I mean, let's say, I mean, what type of compliancy you want to follow. So let's say I just scan the environment.
It takes a while.
Yeah, it takes some time. Yeah. So you can see that, I mean, if you're using some CIS Docker or CIS Kubernetes or HIPAA, so I mean, based on that, the sector is a financial sector, or is it the, for example, the healthcare? And if you, for example, go the NIST, so you can see that, I mean, based on those compliancy, which one your organization is following, which one is not following. And I mean, I would say that, I mean, we put a lot of severity issue in this scenario that, I mean, you can see that, I mean, that you can detect a lot of security. And I mean, you can just lock into a specific, I would say, severe compliancy PCI and just look at it that, I mean, based on the PCI, so I mean, limiting the inbound internet traffic to the IP within the DMZ is mandatory. But I mean, from this application perspective, it has been violated. So this is one part. And also, I mean, I talked about the networking. So you get the network graph. So let's see. Yeah, so I mean, let's say that, I mean, I have a different component within my project and namespace. So I mean, the network graph give me the possibility to see that, I mean, what pods are communicating within the cluster or external to the cluster. And then, for example, you can see here that, I mean, how many replicas there, is there any network security? Because the network policy is part of the Kubernetes that you can automate deploying the network policy through the...
Just share the screen on the,
the
call.
Sorry. Let me share. Yeah, so let's go back to... Yeah. So here that, for example, you can see that, I mean, what is the listening port? And I mean, what type of, for example, image registry is the image is getting, and I mean, what resources that it is utilizing. And for example, the PKI, for example, the certificates information. So I mean, all the security, I would say, aspect of your container image, you can do the scanning and see that, I mean, have you violated, and I mean, what type of severity that you are hitting through the ACS dashboard. So have I answered the question that you've been looking for?
Well, that's actually pretty cool. Advanced cluster security.
Yeah, so I mean, if you just look the StackRox, so it's the upstream project behind the ACS. So I mean, if you just want to try it out, so I mean, you can test the StackRox, and this is the enterprise grade version of that. No problem. Yeah, but I mean, as we said, so I mean, you have these two environment will be running. So I mean, for the people that they don't have any laptop, you can just take K-Image, and then I mean, when you got back home, you can log in and then explore all of this component that we talked about, create your template, install the, I would say, developer, I mean, run the, I would say, the VS Code, and then create your application and run the pipeline, make some changes to the code, and see how the CI/CD flow goes. And you can see all of this step has been included in your CI/CD DevSecOps process. Yes?
One question. So you showed those certifications, HIPAA, and
Yeah.
things like that. So is it like your system classifies the vulnerabilities into, like, it identifies this vulnerability is violating this certification?
Yes, yes. So I mean, for example, because when we talk about the HIPAA standard, so you have some set of standard defined, I would say, by some governance, NIST the same. So I mean, based on those, I would say, regulation, so it has been deployed within the ACS. And I mean, if it is not following any of those rules, you can see from the dashboard that, I mean, what type of percentage that you are violating. Also, you can create your own policy within the ACS. I mean, if you have your organization, so let me, where am I? It's hard to navigate back. Did I close it? Strange. Okay. So here, for example, I can have the platform policy management. I can create a policy. So we talked about that. I mean, we have different stage of the application development. So what my policy is targeting, for example, what type of severity? Am I looking for the low, medium, high? So I mean, I go with the critical because I mean, I don't want to make a lot of noises. Just put a name for my policy test. And category that, I mean, for example, the DevOps best practices, or I mean, based on those type of security check that you want to make sure, and put some description. So DevSecOps. Yeah, and then just go next. And then here you can just choose. So this policy, is it targeting the build stage, or is it targeting the deploy or runtime? We talked about 3 different stages. And I just say build, and if I want to have some sort of the response method, that, I mean, is it inform or enforce? Because I mean, you can have 2 type of policy, but I mean, you just want to make sure that, first you captured all of the security vulnerability information, and then make sure those who are really damaging your infrastructure application pipeline, block them. So, the inform and enforce, I was just in enforce mode, but I'd go with the inform, and then you can just drop the policy. Let's say that, what type of policy is it? The image registry. Okay. Yeah, for example, I just want to have the image that has the signature to be part of my policy. If it's not signed properly, my policy will just inform me that the pipeline when ran and the image created in the build phase, and so it didn't create any signature. So I make sure that I'm not using that image for my next stages of my pipeline. And it's using the cosign, so it's part of the SIG-Store project. So SIG-Store project, it has several different components. One is the cosign, which do the signing and verification of the images. Yeah, and you can add some scope that, what is included and what is excluded from this type of policy. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just missed one part in the definition. Oh, must have a name between. Okay, so I just chose the wrong name. So the name should not be test one. Next, save. So now you have created your own I would say policy. So you shouldn't be bound to the PCI or Docker CSI or Kubernetes CSI. You can define your own policy within your organization. I guess that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you so much for participation. So I'm not sure if you want to distribute the gifts.
Online.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Do you want to say anything at the end?
No, just pick any of the two. I think you better ask questions to them and who gets the.
Yeah, so maybe I can ask a question, but you ask a question from the developer hub and I ask a question from the DevSecOps one, and who answers, we're going to get the prize. Do you have any question?
How do we integrate with external systems? Who set plugins? Good.
Yeah, so what are the 3 stages for securing the application pipeline?
It's build, deploy, and runtime or runtime?
Yes. Yeah. So you have the 2 winners.
All right, guys, I need to take off.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
Wednesday
Yeah.
for the.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you.